In 2022, Mali issued an order for French troops to depart from the country, marking the conclusion of the decade-long anti-jihadist Barkhane mission. Following suit, in February 2023, Burkina Faso expelled French forces and terminated its defense military pact with France, which had been in place since independence. Subsequently, in October 2023, Niger, one of the remaining strongholds of French forces in the Sahel region, also canceled its defense agreement with France and instructed them to depart. By December of the same year, all French forces had exited Niger. Let's know in detail how Burkina Faso military caught and sent the spies back to their country. What did the spies said during interrogation? And most importantly, what does the France say about it? So be with us until the end. The actions taken by Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger reflect a significant shift in France's influence in the Sahel region, a fact acknowledged by many except France itself. Despite France's efforts to maintain control in the Sahel, their strategies have not yielded the desired results. Most recently, Burkina Faso expelled 3 French diplomats from the country for engaging in subversive activities. The Burkinabe Foreign Ministry communicated this decision to the French embassy, declaring these diplomats persona non grata and requiring them to leave the country within 48 hours. The diplomats in question are Gwenaël Habouzi, Hervé Fournier, and Guillaume Reisacker. The word subversive in the dictionary means the act of undermining the authority and power of an already established system. The Burkinabe military government's implication is that these 3 diplomats were involved in actions aimed at creating disorder and undermining Burkina Faso's government. Even though the military government didn't specify the diplomats' activities, it's likely they were acting as prominent spies on behalf of the French government, aiming to trouble authority and raise opposition in Burkina Faso. The activities of these 3 French diplomats are uncertain. They might have circulated misinformation about the Ibrahim Traoré administration to incite dissent among Burkina Faso's citizens, a tactic historically used to provoke conflict in African nations. Alternatively, they could have attempted to infiltrate the military and instigate dissent, potentially leading to a coup against Ibrahim Traoré. Given France's past actions, the range of possibilities for these diplomats' activities is extensive. However, they were apprehended and expelled from the country. The actions of these French diplomats speak of desperation on the part of France and bring to mind what happened in December 2023. On December 1st, 2023, 4 French officials were arrested, charged, and imprisoned in the capital, Ouagadougou. According to the Burkinabe Military Authority, these individuals were identified as French secret intelligence agents. However, France has denied this claim, asserting that they were simply IT support staff. This response is not unexpected when Western agents are caught engaging in questionable activities and their home country is called to account for them. Often, these agents are disowned or fake explanations are provided to justify their presence in the country. The Burkinabe authorities acted decisively by detaining these suspected spies. Currently, these individuals are under house arrest as investigations continue to uncover the true nature of their activities in the country. The revelation of these arrests has placed French authorities in an uncomfortable position, prompting efforts by France to suppress the broadcasting of this news. Reports indicated that France contacted the French media outlet that showed the story, attempting to discourage them from publishing it. The French Foreign Ministry attempted to downplay the incident, but despite their efforts, the fact remains that these French spies have been caught and are now in the custody of the Burkinabe authorities. France has requested the immediate repatriation of its citizens to France, but the Burkinabe Authority has declined this request. Instead, they have opted to keep the individuals in their custody and proceed with an investigation into their activities within the country. The investigation into the activities of these spies in Burkina Faso has revealed that the French agents disclosed the existence of an extensive network of French operatives spread across African countries. Their objective is to provide assistance to rebel groups engaged in conflicts throughout the Sahel region. This revelation is significant, indicating that France has been actively supporting rebel groups, including jihadists, which have contributed significantly to insecurity and conflict in African nations. The presence of these agents extends beyond Burkina Faso, spanning across the African continent. Their primary purpose appears to be establishing a military presence under the guise of counterterrorism efforts. However, this presence also serves France's interests in accessing valuable mineral resources abundant in these regions. The very idea that a foreign country can manipulate the security situation of the country for its political interests without regard to the effect it would have on the populace is essentially troubling. Before we proceed further, discussing what did the Prime Minister of Mali say during the UN Security Council meeting and the French trap to keep their presence in the African continent, I'd like to hear from you. Are you finding this video informative? Feel free to share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. And if you're finding it helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Your support means a lot to us and helps us reach a wider audience and the content that you'll love. Let's continue this journey together. The continued insecurity and conflicts in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, despite the presence of French forces for several years, raise questions about the effectiveness of their intervention. In fact, reports indicate that the security situation much worsened after the deployment of French troops, suggesting that their presence might have worsened instead of improving the situations. If the information from these French spies proves accurate, it proves that foreign military forces like the French and US troops, which were called to assist in anti-terrorism efforts, might actually be contributing to terrorism. Consequently, African leaders across the continent must conduct thorough investigations into the purported counterterrorism activities of Western military forces in their nations. Interestingly, Burkina Faso is not the only African country that is now revealing how France used its troops and agents network to create and plunge the country into insecurity and afterward pretend to help. At the 78th United Nations General Assembly, Mali's Foreign Minister Abdoulaye Diop openly accused France of responsible for terrorism in their country. He didn't hold back, even with French officials in the room, as he presented evidence and sent a letter to the UN Security Council outlining France's alleged support for terrorist groups. Minister Diop's letter detailed over 50 instances of French aircraft violating Malian airspace intentionally. He claimed that these aircraft were used by France to supply weapons and ammunition to terrorist groups in the Sahel region. The letter pointed out that France intentionally violated Malian airspace because they knew that seeking permission would expose their weapon deliveries to terrorist groups. By illegally entering the airspace, France avoided inspections that could have revealed their activities. Additionally, the letter suggested that France used these airspace violations to gather intelligence for terrorist groups and supply them with arms and ammunition. Unfortunately, the United Nations did not respond to the letter, and neither did it do anything concerning the issue. The Prime Minister of Mali also supports this claim, saying that he has evidence supporting this statement. According to Prime Minister Mega, French troops established a stronghold in Kidal, a town in northern Mali, and allegedly handed control of the town to a group reported to have a link to Al-Qaeda. Mega claimed that the Malian military was denied access to the area under France's control. Nonetheless, following the expulsion of French troops from Mali, the country regained control of the town with assistance from the Russian military. France's support for terrorist and rebel groups, aiming to strengthen its regional influence, is indeed shameful. Thankfully, the military juntas in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have recognized France's dubious intentions and have taken proactive measures to avoid being manipulated. Captain Traore in Burkina Faso, for instance, has been actively addressing the terrorism issues that France has allegedly created and supports. The ongoing efforts of the Burkinabe military under Captain Traore's leadership have demonstrated tangible progress in addressing terrorism and reclaiming control over affected areas. However, these positive developments often receive limited attention in the media, possibly influenced by broader geopolitical interests and narratives. Highlighting the increased insecurity and casualties since the departure of French forces could potentially create a misleading narrative that points stability solely to the presence of foreign troops. This narrative might unintentionally undermine the capabilities and efforts of the Burkinabe military in combating terrorism on their own. However, the media cannot also deny that research has shown that the insecurity situation was better off before French troops settled in Burkina Faso. Besides that, what did they expect when France is responsible for creating the insecurity in the first place? It's clear that Burkina Faso was in a better state before French troops established a presence there. The situation worsened with their involvement. Considering France's role in creating this insecurity, it's no surprise. Despite France's tactics, Captain Traore's administration remains determined to combat terrorism on their own and ensure Burkina Faso's complete independence. France won't be back, as Captain Traore is unwavering in his mission and ready to defend Burkina Faso's sovereignty at any cost. We look forward to when insecurity will be a thing of the past for Burkina Faso and the other countries in the Sahel. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Do you think that France will keep their remaining forces out of the African issues? Or it'll keep infiltrating like before? What move will Captain Traore play to arrest the remaining spies of French government who are providing aid to the jihadist groups to keep African continent politically unstable? Let us know your opinions in the comments section, and don't forget to share the video and like and click on the subscribe button as well for remaining updated of the current trends in this fast-paced modern world. Until next video, stay tuned.